Welcome back around to theCUBE here at our NYSE studios. Of course, we have our Palo Alto studio connecting Silicon Valley and Wall Street. This is our physical AI robotics series, part of our AI leaders program. We feature the leaders making things happen in the industry, obviously physical AI robotics. Space is the conversation. Cole Swain is here, SVP and Strategy and Partnership Tomorrow IO. Back, good to see you again. Thanks for coming in.
It's good to see you, John.
So space is super hot right now, defense tech. If you look at all the recent work that's going on, obviously we're in a war right now, so there's a lot of discussion around military, defense, et cetera. But it's been a hot category. You're going back the past 5 years, Space Force, the whole space industry, smaller, faster, cheaper ways to get things into orbit. The software stacks are emerging. You guys are in the middle of it. Give us the news. You guys had made some recent announcements. Give us the quick update.
It's been a busy 2026. January started with the completion of our Gen 1 constellation. That got us to a 60-minute revisit rate for every coordinate point on Earth. From there, we announced our Deep Sky constellation, which is our Gen 2 constellation. From there, now it's all about capital that we raised in order to make sure that that project comes to full fruition. Yeah. And we continue to create value for our customers and for the world.
You guys got great momentum. Thanks for sharing that. So lay out what you guys do for the folks that want to understand the landscape of where you guys execute in. Explain quickly what you guys do.
It's about collecting data in order to create intelligence. And what a lot of people don't realize is in the world of weather, there's not a lot of data out there being collected today. And with the advent of a lot of these AI models, when you make a prediction, you need to be able to see how well that prediction performed, and you need to be able to have something to initialize that prediction. And so ultimately, our constellation is all about collecting more data about the atmosphere in order to train these models and improve our ability to not only understand what's going to happen, but also understand what did happen in history, because most of the world is not covered by these types of observations.
Talk about the infrastructure required. You have to deploy in space, so that's one.
We do, yeah.
You got to have the software and the coverage. You need the data analytics, the ingestion. Take us through some of the tech. Yeah. And what the mechanics are of deploying and making it all work.
I think the key thing is that we started with our customer problems at the forefront. And throughout, call it the first half of our company's existence, we focused entirely on creating predictive analytics for our customers, and through a software application that allows them to interpret and understand not just that it's going to be windy, but what does that mean to their schedules? What does that mean to their assets? If you're an airline, if you are a railroad, if you are a supply chain, a logistics company, a retailer, whatever it might be, converting that into intelligence for you. Now, as that journey progressed, we started to see that there were significant gaps in our ability to be able to increase the infrastructure, improve the performance of predictions, which the only conclusion in order to drive that home was to go to space. And now fast forward, we have about 13 satellites launched, currently in low Earth orbit, again, at a 60-minute revisit rate of microwave sounders, providing the world with intelligence that it didn't have prior.
Yeah. What's the before and after picture look like? How would you describe that to someone? Okay, before the deployment, what does that mean? Refresh rate and all that good stuff.
Think of it this very moment, there are 2,000 thunderstorms evolving around the world right now. The average life cycle of each one of them is about 30 to 60 minutes. Now, if you have satellites up there that are revisiting every 6 hours, call it, you're going to catch...
Revisiting means going over the area and getting the data.
That's right.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, returning to the same spot so that it gets a new version of the data it last collected. And if you have a satellite up there doing it every 6 hours, for instance, which is what was currently up there on a before standpoint, you only catch 1 out of every 7 thunderstorms, and you get one slice of it. But that thunderstorm is born, it grows, and it dies. And there's so much you can learn about that thunderstorm so that you can improve your models and understand what are the environmental conditions that are causing it to change. Yeah. And so the after is now, if every thunderstorm evolves every 30 to 60 minutes and we have a global picture, every coordinate point on Earth, we're able to collect far more training data and far more inference data to improve how we predict these things.
It's like time over target, as they say. The more you're watching, better the data, full models. I got to ask you, Cole, one of the things that's come up in the past, I'd say 6 months, in the past 3 months specifically has come up a lot, is that everyone sees AI and they go, okay, the AI wave is coming. But everyone starting to realize now that LLM stands for large language models. Yeah. Weather's not a language.
Yeah.
It's not English or text. It's its own language.
Yeah.
So how do you guys view that? Because I think there's a huge shift now in the mindset that there's so much more opportunities around data modeling using AI techniques,
Yeah.
because you guys actually have physics. You have unique data that you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're smiling because you got
It's the right question.
yeah,
I mean, you think about weather and its history, it's a very oratory field. People are
yeah,
familiar with looking at the weatherman,
yeah,
watching the weatherman on TV, being told what's going to happen. I think a lot of people underestimate the breadth of what weather actually is. A lot of people personify it to their particular use case for their barbecue or for their umbrella need, but for industry, for commercial applications worldwide, there's 300 different parameters, whether it's
yeah,
how much saturation is in the soil to what turbulence is that flight going to hit, all the way to when is the lightning strike going to occur, all the way to what's the wind speed, to
yeah,
are we talking snow accumulation or the intensity. And so I say all that because when you say weather is not a language, it's becoming one.
yeah. You have the data
And
you can synthesize.
we can. And we have a really great, we launched it actually in 2023, Gale, which is our generative AI assistant that understands how your operation, how your physics, how your physical moving assets are expected to be impacted. So you can have a conversation with your risk,
Yeah,
and you can build reports about your risk
yeah,
and digest at the context of my flight is going to be here at this airport at this point in time. Where are my crews going to actually be timing out relative to when are they scheduled to time out?
yeah.
It's really the intersection of the physical world.
Yeah, I mean, there's a zillion examples. Obviously, supply chain, commerce. I mean, there's a zillion things. You mentioned flights, aviation, huge area. You got news in that area on aviation.
Yeah,
What's the update with aviation? Because clearly, traveling in the sky is big.
it is.
That's what the
And
weather is.
keeping everybody safe up in the sky and making sure everything's efficient up in the sky. So yesterday, we launched Altitude, which is our dedicated vertical aviation specific product, in which network operations and flight operations can leverage to be able to understand how their flights are being impacted, which hubs, which airports are getting impacted and when, so you can take all the proper networking decisions around that. We spotlighted Lufthansa on that piece. It just launched yesterday. Exciting partnership with Lufthansa. Couldn't be happier than working with that team.
And the use case there is to use the data to make better decisions, flight schedules, path information.
Yeah.
I mean, is that kind of, was there more to that? What can you
There's
share?
so much.
A little
So
more?
to maintain on-time performance, maintain connectivity, keep passengers flowing through to their connections, maintain crews that have legal timeouts as to when they have X amount of hours that they can actually fly. There's such a cascade that when your flight is delayed at your particular gate, a lot of the times it's a result of weather. And for them to take proactive action to schedule where their crews are located, where their assets are located, and properly prepare for these events, allow them to be able to mitigate a lot of that risk.
Talk about this momentum of the company. Obviously, great news. You got the Gen 1 out. Gen 2, you mentioned Deep
Sky.
Sky. What? Give us a little teaser on that. I know it's a little early.
Yeah.
How should we think about the Gen 2?
Think of Gen 1 had a core mission that we made very clear to the world. Gen 2 represents moving that mission significantly forward. It's a bigger constellation, and we just couldn't be more excited to make sure that the world has access to higher frequency data.
So there's a lot of secret sauce in that. I can't wait to get more details. On the company side, how's things going? Employee count, hiring. What are some of the updates there?
Things are great. It's an exciting mission to be working on.
Yeah.
I'd say it naturally just attracts some of the smartest people that exist in this world on the topic that we're working on. It's the intersection of space, of weather and climate and environment with enterprise, commercial applications, government applications, and at the core of it all is AI that allows us to be able to evolve our software to deliver intelligence. It's the intersection of some of the world's most specific problems right now, and everybody's really excited about what we're working on.
I mean, the aperture of opportunities are great. You knock down aviation. That's clearly one that's immediate. Supply chain, disaster recovery. And I mean that not in the classic IT sense. I'm talking about, hey, if there's going to be a hurricane, what's the paths look like? There's kind of a geospatial opportunity there. Safety, evacuating areas, just general logistics are impacted by weather.
And
dollars are going to hit the table on that one.
Little details, shipping your prescription medicine 2 days earlier because you have choke points in your routes that are going to happen from a flood or from a blizzard or demand spikes that come from the weather that allow you to be able to optimize where you place your courier services, or working directly with governments to help them with their infrastructure, deploy new rapid refresh models that aren't refreshing every few hours. Every 15 minutes, we're taking every available observation because AI makes it more efficient, makes us leaner in our ability to adapt models to your operation and to your geography.
You know, what's interesting about what you just said is that this is a trend I'm seeing on theCUBE here, both here in New York and in California, and across all of our interviews on this point. When you start getting in these outside the language models into these areas where you can get the data and create models around them, the public sector and commercial markets are both in play. So usually it's, hey, we got to have a commercial strategy, let's go sell this to Lufthansa Airlines, make some money, but there's a huge public sector.
Yeah.
I mean, little things, towns and cities, regions. Talk about that dynamic, because I've never seen it that robust. I mean, usually public sector is either a dedicated area or a bolt-on.
Yeah.
In your area, it seems to be lifting in both.
In the end, if you were to think about the problem holistically, they're all being disrupted. They want to accomplish a workflow, whether it's keeping citizens safe, whether it's making sure that goods are delivered on time, whether that's a passenger or whether that's a supply. They are disrupted by the weather, and they need to have proper ways to navigate that X amount of days ahead and have proper ways to be able to understand what confidence at the intersection with all the data that they have internally and where they need to be and when. In the public sector and commercial sector, the use cases are extremely similar. It's just the translation in the industry is a little bit different.
Well, tomorrow I/O is definitely a physical, real world intersection. Final question, what are you focused on now? What is on your to-do list? What are you optimizing for?
Executing on deep sky, bringing on those more satellites and making sure that our customers are as happy as can be.
And partnerships, opportunities? What do you,
Absolutely.
what's your agenda there?
There's some baking specific to a few industries.
He's tight-lipped, we'll get it out of him.
Yeah.
But you have a lot going on.
We got a lot going on.
Cool, great to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
All right, physical AI and robotics, again, space, data, all comes back down to unifying that data, getting the infrastructure in place. And space is going to be the next horizon, the next frontier. Certainly it's populated up with a lot of activity, and we're seeing it all across the industry. I'm John Furrier, host of theCUBE. Thanks for watching.